Did you see the draw?
Yes, I did.
It's okay.
Yes, it was amazing. It's been amazing. In this part of the world, there are
The $10 million racket that occurred when a champion's heart met a billionaire's wealth. Welcome back, a site that covers more than just tennis. We discover the myths being penned in front of our very eyes. I want you to set aside your preconceived notions about professional sports today. Forget about the sportsmen vying for every dollar, the sponsorship agreements, and the mega contracts. Because the story I'm going to share with you is so remarkable and potent that it has simultaneously restored confidence in humanity and actually broken the internet. Imagine this. The most important match of your career has just been won. Your name is being chanted by 20,000 yelling fans. You're sweating profusely. Your heart is racing, yet your muscles are screaming. The racket that just produced the game-winning shot is in your hands. Suddenly, everything comes to a halt. A man comes up to you. Not just any man, but among the richest people on the planet. His wealth surpasses the GDP of tiny countries. He offers you $10 million while staring you in the eye. Not for the racket in your hand, not for a photo session, not for an endorsement. A piece of equipment that could be replaced for $250 at any sporting goods store costs $10 million. How would you respond? Be truthful with yourself. For a used tennis racket, $10 million might change someone's life and provide prosperity for generations. This is not a speculative situation. This isn't an exercise in thought. This occurred yesterday. And the decision taken by the woman at the heart of this controversy has left everyone in the globe stunned. This is the tale of Alexandra Eala, Sheikh Khalid al-Rashid, and the incident that made us realize that there are some things in life that are just not able to be purchased. Hold on tight, because we're going to go into the most dramatic, amazing, and viral story in tennis history. Thiel, who carried the dreams of a nation. We must first discuss the woman with that racket in order to get why this time is significant. Not just any tennis player moving up the rankings is Alexandra Eala. She stands for something much more than individual aspirations. She represents the aspirations of a country. The result of unadulterated talent and unwavering resolve manifested physically. Eala had every incentive to take a simpler route because she grew up in the Philippines, where basketball is the most popular sport and there aren't many tennis facilities. But easy decisions don't make champions. They are formed by innumerable hours of practice in private, and they are forged in the furnace of hardship, constructed with a level of discipline that is beyond the comprehension of most individuals. Coaches recognized something unique about this left-handed firecracker from her early days. Even while she was naturally athletic and fiercely competitive, it wasn't simply that. She had it in her head. Chess played at 100 kilometers per hour is the pinnacle of tennis. Additionally, Eala's body completed the current shot with surgical accuracy, and she had the strategic acumen to see 3 shoots ahead. Veterans took notice of her fierce dominance on the junior circuit. Junior Grand Slam championships were dropped like a set of dominoes. The leap from junior success to professional supremacy, however, is where hopes go to die, as any tennis fan knows. The margin for error is reduced to 0, the bodies are more resilient, and the minds are more resilient. I didn't simply make it through that change. She flourished. Each competition turned into a statement. Each triumph demonstrated that the Manila girl could hang out with anyone in the world. As she whipped around the court with such severe top spin that opponents appeared to be attempting to return a missile, her left-handed forehand became famous. Her tenacity was featured on highlight reels. She would chase down balls that should have won during those impossible gets, creating angles that, according to physics, shouldn't exist. Here's what set them apart from the rest, though. She never lost sight of her origins, and maintained her affection for the Philippines even when other budding artists relocated to Florida or Spain in search of better training facilities. She developed into more than just an athlete. She turned into a representation. She carried the aspirations of millions of people each time she appeared in court with that flag on her sleeve. As she entered this event, the whispers had turned into roars as young girls all around Southeast Asia thought, if she can do it, maybe I can, too. It was dubbed her breakthrough moment by sports analysts. She had cut through it like a hot knife through butter, despite the brutality of the draw. Every game was more spectacular than the last. A shift in the standings was imminent. Offers of sponsorship were pouring in. Everything was coming together to create something unique. No one was aware of how unique it was going to get. The billionaire in the background. Something strange was going on in the stadium's VIP area, while Eala was getting ready for the most important game of her life. The level of security was higher than usual. Only one party had rented the full deluxe box. This is something that seldom ever occurs during tennis competitions. Although the stadium staff remained silent, the rumors were already catching on like wildfire among the throng. In the building was Sheikh Khalid Al Rashid. The name may not be familiar to the majority of casual sports fans, but Sheikh Khalid is a legend among the extremely wealthy circles of world power brokers and business titans. His personal wealth is estimated by Forbes to be over $50 billion. However, many who disagree claim that figure is conservative. He has a corporate empire that crosses industries and nations. Liquid gold pumped from the desert by oil wells. Real estate holdings that comprise whole city blocks in New York, Paris, and London. He is a prominent figure in Silicon Valley thanks to his technological investments and a private aviation business that only serves other billionaires. The man is more than just wealthy. His riches has the power to radically change the world around him. Tales of his way of life spread like contemporary legend. When he didn't enjoy the view from his suite, he decided to buy a hotel. He thus ordered the demolition of the building across the street. A gold-plated Bugatti that reportedly cost more than most people will make in 10 lifetimes is among the fleet of vehicles, each one more ridiculous than the one before it. More valuable than opulent apartments is the private island where he raises racing falcons. However, the tabloids consistently overlook this aspect of Sheikh Khaled. Despite his idiosyncrasies, he is more than a wealthy caricature. According to most reports, he is a loving but strict father and a guy of true culture. He manages his empire with an iron hand wrapped in a velvet glove, avoids much publicity, and hardly ever does interviews. What made him attend a tennis tournament where a young Filipino player that most casual fans had hardly heard of was playing? The narrative shifts toward the heart at that point. Aisha Al-Rashid, his daughter, is not your normal billionaire. Aisha is different from some in her position who can be tabloid staples, sharing their private jet lifestyles on social media and going to every fashion week from Paris to Milan. Despite being raised with limitless luxuries, she was intensely quiet, introspective, and, by all accounts, wonderfully grounded. I won a match today thanks to this racket. However, it should make your daughter happy and give her the same strength that her support has given me. But not in the direction of the chick. She held the racket out. She raised it in the direction of the VIP box. I'm not selling inspiration, therefore you can't purchase this from me. You can't buy hope. It is impossible to buy the bond between a fighter and a supporter, or between an athlete and a fan. There was utter silence in the crowd. It was impossible to read the chick's expression. Eala responded, "I will not take your $10 million, and a smile as bright as a sunrise appeared on her face. She paused to make sure every word was understood before saying, "But I will give this to Aisha, not as a purchase, not as a transaction, as a gift from one fighter to another. Inform her that the match is not won by the racket. The girl is the one holding it. She's already a winner, in my opinion." It exploded in the stadium. Even if the loudness was overwhelming, Eala wasn't finished. She strode straight toward the stands, past the astonished chick and the security detail that wasn't sure whether to stop her or move aside. She motioned for Aisha to descend by pointing up to the VIP box. The chick caught the attention of the security staff. He stood motionless for a long time. Then he waved them away slowly. Aisha descended to the rail. She was crying aloud. Her well-crafted facade as a billionaire Aries had now fallen apart entirely. She met her hero as a little girl. The racket wasn't simply handed over by AA, someone handed her a marker, which she used to sign the grip tape. The cameras were unable to capture her whispering something in Aisha's ear. Then she gave her a hug. A true hug, the kind that has weight, significance, and a sincere human bond. The stadium was in disarray. People were in tears. The grown men were crying aloud. With his eyes sparkling and his palm covering his mouth, the stylish, empire-ruling titan of industry stood on the court. When he went up to Eala, his attitude was entirely different. Not the brash millionaire, not the self-assured negotiator. He appeared humbled. He spoke, paused, and tried again. At last he said, "I have been a deal maker all my life. I believed I knew value. I learned from you that I didn't understand anything." He made an effort to get money donated to her team, foundation, and tennis programs in the Philippines. Anything, let him do something, please. However, Eala only grinned, packed her luggage, and shook her head. The standing ovation continued for more than 5 minutes after she left the court. Because they had just seen something that doesn't occur in contemporary professional sports, people couldn't stop applauding and crying. They had seen someone put values ahead of value, put significance ahead of money, put people before profits. # the wildfire of digitalization. The video became viral, not just any viral, in a matter of minutes. This caused the servers to crash, the internet to go down, and it became viral in every nation at once. The hashtag became viral right away. Not for sale, but priceless. The legendary Eala. In just 1 hour, they were dominating global trends, surpassing everything from celebrity rumors to political crises. The volume of traffic caused social media networks to groan. Everybody had a viewpoint. Everyone wanted to be a part of it. Surprisingly, there was almost universal agreement in a time when the internet cannot agree on anything. A Twitter user with the handle tennisfan999 wrote, "I used to watch Alex for her forehand. Now I watch her for her heart. $10 million turned down. That's not just sportsmanship. That's royalty. That's queen behavior." Business Insider tweeted, "In an era where athletes chase the biggest contracts and sports have become pure commerce, Alexandria just reminded us that values still exist. The most expensive racket offer in history was just given away for free and somehow everyone involved became richer. But the most powerful social media moment came from an unexpected source. The official company account associated with chic college business empire, an account that typically posts dry corporate announcements and quarterly earnings, posted simply, 'Today I learned that the greatest things in life truly cannot be bought. Alexandra, thank you. What you have given my daughter is more powerful than money, more precious than oil, and more valuable than gold. She has hope because of you.'" Sports journalists scrambled to find comparable moments in history. Muhammad Ali refusing the draft. Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier. Moments where athletes transcended their sport and became symbols of something larger. The consensus was forming. This was one of those moments. Marketing experts were already analyzing the impact. Brand valuation specialists were running the numbers. What Eala lost in immediate cash, she gained exponentially in global recognition and respect. Her value as a spokesperson, as a brand ambassador, as a role model had skyrocketed beyond what any single endorsement deal could provide. But more importantly, something deeper was happening. In an age of cynicism, where every gesture is suspected of having a hidden motive, where authenticity is so rare that we've almost forgotten what it looks like, Eala's action cut through the noise. It was pure. It was real. It reminded people of what they wanted sports to be about in the first place. The math and legacy. The story didn't end with a viral moment. In fact, in many ways, it was just beginning. Within 48 hours, the ripple effects were being felt across multiple continents and industries. The Sheikh, true to the spirit of Eala's gesture, made an anonymous donation to tennis development programs in the Philippines. The amount has never been officially confirmed, but sources close to the situation suggest it was substantially more than the original $10 million offer. The donation funded new tennis courts in underserved communities, provided equipment and coaching for promising young players, and established scholarships for athletes from low-income families. But he didn't stop there. Additional anonymous contributions went to children's hospitals across Asia, specifically funding programs for young patients fighting serious illnesses. Music therapy, art therapy, sports therapy, programs designed to give kids like Aisha something to fight for, something to believe in during their darkest moments. Aisha herself became more public following the incident. In a rare interview carefully managed by her family's representatives, she spoke about her health journey for the first time. She didn't go into medical specifics, but she talked about how Eala's matches gave her something to look forward to. How watching someone fight so hard for every point reminded her to fight for every day. "When I hold that racket now," she said, her voice soft but strong, "I don't see a piece of equipment. I see every point Alex fought for, every impossible shot she made. Every time she fell down and got back up, it reminds me that I can do the same." The racket itself has never been displayed publicly. It hasn't become a museum piece or a photo opportunity. It sits in Aisha's room, sources say, and she uses it to practice. That's right. The racket that was offered $10 million. The racket that could have been enshrined behind glass is being used by an 18-year-old girl learning to play tennis, which is exactly what would have wanted. For Eala herself, the impact has been transformative but complicated. In the immediate aftermath, her social media following exploded. Sponsorship offers poured in at a rate her management team couldn't keep up with. But Eala remained characteristically focused. She released one statement through her publicist. "I did what felt right in my heart. Nothing more, nothing less. Now back to work," and she meant it. 2 weeks after the incident, she was back on the practice court, grinding away at her game. Interviews were politely declined. Photo shoots were turned down. She let the moment speak for itself, and moved forward. But the tennis world had changed how it looked at her. She was no longer just a promising young player. She was a leader, a role model, the kind of athlete who reminded everyone why they fell in love with sports in the first place. Fellow players spoke out in support. Veterans who had been on tour for decades said they had never seen anything like it. Rafael Nadal, when asked about it at a press conference, paused for a long moment before saying, "This is what we should all aspire to be." She understood something that takes most people a lifetime to learn. She understood that what we do on the court is not just about winning. It's about what we represent. Tennis federations around the world used the story in their youth programs. Play like Eala became a rallying cry that had nothing to do with technical skills and everything to do with character. #the deeper truth. But here's what really makes this story matter. Here's why we're still talking about it. Here's why it resonates so deeply that people who don't even follow tennis know the name Alexandria. We live in a world that has become obsessed with putting a price on everything. We measure success in dollars. We measure worth and net value. We reduce human achievement to quarterly earnings and market capitalization. Athletes are brands. Moments are content. Everything is a transaction. When Sheikh Khalid walked onto that court, he brought that reality into stark relief. He put a number on a moment, $10 million. He quantified the value of inspiration. He tried to purchase a connection. And when Eala refused, she didn't just turn down money. She rejected the entire premise. She said clearly and definitively that some things exist outside the economy. That human connection, inspiration, hope, these things cannot and should not be for sale. In doing so, she reminded us of something we've been in danger of forgetting. She reminded us that we are not just economic units. We are not just consumers and producers. We are human beings capable of choosing meaning over money, of valuing relationships over resources, of seeing beyond the price tag to the priceless. The moment resonated because deep down everyone knows she was right. Everyone has had the experience of receiving a gift that mattered more than its monetary value. Everyone understands that the best moments in life are the ones that can't be bought. But in our modern world, we've gotten out of practice at defending that truth. We've let the market colonize every aspect of our lives. And then here comes this young woman from the Philippines standing on a tennis court being offered a life-changing sum of money. And she just says no. Not out of arrogance, not out of pride, but because she understood in that moment that accepting the money would cheapen everything it represented. Think about Aisha. If Eala had taken the $10 million, she still could have given the racket as a gift. The sheik could have presented it to his daughter. Aisha would have held the same physical object, but it would have meant something entirely different. It would have been a purchase, an acquisition, one more thing that daddy's money bought. However well-intentioned, however generous, it would have reinforced the same lesson that money can buy anything. By refusing the money, Eala transformed the racket into something else entirely. It became a symbol of values that transcend wealth. It became proof that her relationship with Aisha as a fan wasn't transactional. It became a demonstration that inspiration flows freely, not as a commodity, but as a gift. And for Aisha, who has grown up in a world where everything, literally everything, can be purchased, that lesson is priceless. The global conversation. The incident sparked a global conversation about values in professional sports. Ops appeared in major newspapers. Think pieces proliferated across the internet. Everyone wanted to weigh in on what the moment meant. Some economists argued that Eala made a financially irrational decision. $10 million invested conservatively would generate hundreds of thousands in passive income annually. That money could have funded charitable works far beyond a single gesture. They weren't wrong exactly, but they were missing the point entirely. Others pushed back, arguing that the gesture's value couldn't be calculated in traditional economic terms. The global goodwill, the brand enhancement, the cultural impact, these had a worth that exceeded any single payment. Marketing professors calculated that the equivalent advertising value of the coverage and social media engagement was in the hundreds of millions. But perhaps the most interesting responses came from young people, particularly young athletes. For a generation that has grown up watching sports become increasingly commercialized, watching athletes chase maximum contracts and switch teams based purely on financial considerations, Eala's gesture was revolutionary. Youth tennis programs reported a surge in enrollment following the incident. Girls who had never picked up a racket wanted to try, and when coaches asked why, the answer was consistent. I want to be like Alex Eala. Practical terms, turning down $10 million is a risk. But what those critics miss is that Eala didn't just turn down $10 million. She invested in something different. She invested in her legacy. She invested in what she'll be remembered for. And she invested in her own sense of integrity. You can lose money. You can lose tournaments. But once you compromise your values for a payout, you can't get that back. That stain stays. Eala made a bet. Whether she consciously thought about it this way or not, she bet that being the kind of person who would refuse $10 million for the right reasons was worth more than having $10 million. She bet that integrity has value even if it doesn't show up on a balance sheet. And based on what's happened since, it looks like she was right. #the word. As I bring this story to a close, I want you to think about one thing. Sheikh Khaled Al Rashid is worth approximately $50 billion. He can buy private islands. He can buy sports teams. He can buy things most of us can't even imagine wanting. But yesterday, he stood on a tennis court in front of a young woman from the Philippines and realized he was the poorest person in the room. Not in money. In money, he'll always be richer than almost anyone on earth. But in the things that actually matter, in grace, in generosity, in strength of character, he was facing someone whose wealth was immeasurable. He tried to buy a moment. Eala gave him something better. She gave him a lesson. She showed him that his money, for all its power, cannot purchase the things that make us human, cannot buy inspiration, cannot buy the connection between an athlete and a fan, cannot buy the feeling Aisha had when she held that racket knowing it was given freely out of genuine caring. Aisha went home with a racket that became more precious than any piece of sports memorabilia in history. Not because of what was offered for it, but because of what wasn't accepted for it. Alexandra Eala went home without $10 million. But she woke up the next morning as one of the most respected athletes in the world. Rich in admiration, rich in influence, rich in the knowledge that when tested, she chose correctly. And all of us, everyone who watched this unfold, got a reminder that we desperately needed. A reminder that we are not just economic actors in a giant marketplace. We are human beings capable of acts of kindness that transcend commerce. We are capable of choosing meaning over money. We are capable of being better than the worst incentives the world presents to us. That's what Champions Tennis is all about. That's why we're here, not just to watch tennis, but to witness the moments when sport reveals what's best in human nature. #a turn. So now I want to hear from you, and I want you to be brutally honest. No judgment here. If you were in Eala's shoes, standing on that court, being offered $10 million for a racket you were planning to replace anyway, what would you have done? Would you have taken the money? Would you have rationalized it as being smart, being practical, being able to do more good with the resources? Would you have thought about your family, your future, the opportunities that money could create? Or would you have done what Eala did? Would you have recognized that some moments are bigger than economics? Would you have seen that the value of the gesture exceeded the value of the payment? Type "take it" in the comments if you're honest enough to admit you would have grabbed the cash. No shame in that. Most people would. Or type "legend" if you believe you would have made the same choice did. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter which one you choose. What matters is that you think about it. What matters is that we have these conversations. What matters is that moments like this force us to examine our values and ask ourselves who we want to be. If this story moved you, if it made you think, if it reminded you that sports can be about more than just winning and losing, do me a favor. Hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow and allows us to keep bringing you these deep dives into the stories that matter. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We're building a community here at Champions Tennis of people who love tennis, not just for the competition, but for the moments of humanity it creates. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a story. We've got more incredible content coming your way. More match breakdowns, more behind-the-scenes drama, more stories that remind you why you fell in love with this beautiful sport in the first place. This is Champions Tennis, where we celebrate the champions on the court and the champions in life. Remember, play with your heart, stand by your values, and never forget that some things in this world are truly priceless. See you in the next one.